Boy Capital. I love Bandera, Texas. Good to see you, Billy. How's everybody? Janie from Janie's Porch. Love Janie's Porch. This time of year, it's a fantastic spot. Hope you're staying cool. Pour some nice ice cold lemonade or iced tea. It's a beautiful day out there. But as I mentioned, it's a lot cooler than yesterday. 88, and it feels more comfortable. Only 81 at Bernie right now. We've got some 90s on the map. You see George West, you see Beeville, 87 at Gonzales. The difference today, though, is the dew point. So yesterday, we had it in the mid-70s, okay? And that's why it felt so brutally hot. And what's interesting about the dew point number you see right there, 47, this is a current dew point reading. Yesterday, just transpose those numbers. At this same time, it was 74. So we've done a complete flip. The highest dew point, 57 at George West and Beeville. And yesterday, look at Port Lavaca. This is a good example. Port Lavaca's dew point right now, 51. Yesterday was 80. It was 80. So that's what factors in when you take the dew point and the temperature, and then that's what factors in what it feels like outside. So notice that the temperature is only about a degree or two higher on what your body thinks it is compared to what the actual reading is. Even at Beeville and George West, it's only feeling like 90, and the temperature is about 90 or 91. So it really is a much more comfortable day, and it's all because of the dew point. When you cut it in half, I mean practically in half, that's what makes it feel so much more comfortable. It's a good dry heat out there today. So yes, it's warm, but it should be. I mean, it's the spring season in South Texas, so we should be hitting about 91, 92 degrees this time of year, so that part's normal. What's abnormal is to get a front like we did yesterday and to drop these dew points like that. Because again, it feels like in San Antonio right now, as I mentioned, is 85. Yesterday, it was 107. So, and in fact, Port Lavaca, because of that dew point hitting 80, their feels like yesterday was 117. And right now it's 86. So, I mean, what a difference the dew point can make. And we covered the dew point. Hey, Tammy, there's Tammy. Hope you got your daughter to work okay. It seems like we were just here a few minutes ago. I was in here last night until, what, about 1 a.m. doing severe weather. So Tammy's got something to tell me. Definitely make me chuckle. Got scolded about me. I saw that because of the hearts. You got to be careful, Tammy, right? I'm a happily married man, so you know, somebody's looking out. That was really funny. Don't worry about it. Hey, Connie, good to see you. What's happening, Linda? So glad you guys are here. So today, oh, you can hear me okay, Dina? Everybody can hear me all right? Emily is here. Hi, Emily. Matthew says, never mind. What happened? Oh, there's no sound, never mind. Okay, so we're all good. Everybody can hear loud and clear on our Cloudy with a Chance of Learning. Brought to you, by the way, by John Wayne Service Company. So hello, John Wayne. Thanks for sponsoring. Addison, her brother Gavin, their grandpa, all watching from Converse. What's going on, guys? Gavin, hello there. And Addison. And hi, Grandpa. I'm so glad everybody's in for Cloudy with a Chance of Learning. Great topic today. Right? Totally. Don't worry about it, Tammy. All good, all good. There's a lot of love on Facebook. You know, that's what happens. A lot of love on Facebook. Let me get a little swallow of the H2O and get started on our classification of our climate. So unlike, this has nothing to do with climate change or global warming. Don't think I'm going there with this. I have thought about that, which, by the way, let me stop right there and show you this Ken's 5 shirt from yesteryear. This cantaloupe color. This is when I pulled this out today, I said, I'm going to tell people that are watching, this is like my favorite Ken's 5 shirt. And I know the marketing team gets upset because this is the old logo. You know, we've gone through several logos over the years at Ken's 5. Well, the new one has the awesome CBS eye on it, and it's our new sign out front. And we've got some shirts that have that logo, but man, do I love this shirt. I just love this color. I typically wear it during Fiesta because it's a fun color. And it always gets me in the mood for cantaloupe. Or peaches. Isn't that peachy? All right. Howdy, Ramon. Good to see you, man. All right, so instead of talking, like I said, it's not climate change. This is actually talking about climate classifications, okay? So the planet Earth uses what's called the Köppen-Geiger system. This is how we classify the climates of our planet. You know, and it's kind of funny in the sense that climate changes all the time. You hear that a lot when you discuss the topic of climate change. Well, climate's always changing, and that is true. But remember that the difference, and this is really valuable for students, okay, that the difference between weather and climate. Weather is currently it's 85 degrees on the feels like temperature, and the dew point is 47, and you know, the actual air temperature right now is 88 in San Antonio. So notice how it feels cooler because the air is so dry. It's more comfortable. Well, that's weather, okay? Then when we start talking about climate, we're talking about the history of weather in certain regions, like the average high today, 91. That's going to be taken from a 30-year average. So now we're talking the climate of San Antonio, the history, okay? So just think, climate is history, weather is daily. Weather is the forecasting, the observations, and everything that's going to occur today in our atmosphere, while climate bundles it up and looks at it historically over the course of years and what we should expect according to where we are in a region, okay? So regions of the planet are broken into categories of different climates, okay? And so here are the basic categories, what we call the main categories. A, and this is how it's labeled on a map, by the way, that I'm going to show you in a moment. But A is tropical, B is dry, C is temperate, which is kind of like that middle ground, right? No extreme, a temperate climate, no extreme hot, no extreme cold, okay? Kind of a, if I was just to say it, like, I don't know if it's very true, but a real temperate climate is Southern California. I mean, it's like bottled weather out there, right? It's never too hot, it's really never too cold. It's just right. It's Goldilocks weather. D stands for continental. Wouldn't that be C? Why didn't they do that, right? But either way, we can maybe, and I'm not sure what the dots, maybe somebody can help me out. Is that Swedish? But it's I believe it's pronounced Köppen, Geiger system. So then you have the continental category and you have the polar category, okay? So these are the main categories of climate classification on the planet Earth. And then, and this is for the entire planet, and then there's subcategories within each one of these main categories, okay? So now, you know, this is not all between the ears. I have to refer down to my notes. Within tropical, you have a rainforest climate. I was fortunate enough years ago to go to Kauai, the island of Kauai, which is in the island chains of our state, Hawaii, which, by the way, holds 10 climate classifications of its own, okay? There's about a dozen, you know, on the planet altogether. 10 of them are in Hawaii. Hawaii's got so many different climates. It's amazing. Well, one of them is tropical rainforest, okay? So we go A, tropical, first category, rainforest, okay, or subcategory. And that's the island of Kauai, where they receive the most annual rainfall on the planet Earth. It's the interior of that island that has the perfect convergence with the Pacific trade winds that it creates about, or generates about 300 inches of rain a year. 300 inches of rain a year. Compare that to a climate like El Paso that gets about 3 inches of rain a year, right? So on the island of Kauai, it almost rains every day. They average nearly an inch of rain a day, all year long. But the exterior, and I don't want to discourage a trip because it is a beautiful island. In fact, it's called the Garden Island. It's where they shot Jurassic Park. The original Jurassic Park, I'm not sure about the sequels, but I know that the original Jurassic Park, as well as several other, I think there's a Raiders of the Lost Ark scene they used. Kauai, it's a beautiful, it's called the Garden Island. And I love the scene in Jurassic Park where they're running from the dinosaurs in that open field. I actually looked at that field. I was standing there. It was really cool when I went. And then the coffee. Oh, the Kona coffee in Hawaii. Mwah, best you can drink. It's so good. Ainsley, what's going on? So glad you're here. I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Vanessa. Good to see you from Del Rio. What's happening? I don't know world places stuff. Thanks. You got it, Matthew. See? Besides the system. Oh, wait. We have it. Is Köppen-Geiger system Hawaiian for something? That's a good question. I think Köppen, I don't know if that means it's Swedish when we have that little punctuation above the O. I'm just not positive on that. Thanks, Tammy. I appreciate it. I'm working at the groundskeeper at Southwest Campus. It's still too hot. I bet, man. I know it's, if you're outside, make sure you're hydrating, but it's, I mean, so much more comfortable compared to yesterday. Howdy, Ramon. All right. So, anyway, back to our topic at hand. Rainforest climate. Like I said, tropical rainforest, okay? Then there's tropical monsoon. Tropical savanna dry winter, savanna dry summer, okay? So you have that. Then B, dry or arid. That's a great word, A-R-I-D. I was looking for the marker to write it up there, but it's just 4 letters, you can remember. A-R-I-D, arid, which means dry. That's going to be your desert. So you got a dry desert climate, you've got a dry hot climate, a dry cold climate, okay? And that's one of the things that really fluctuates. That dry air heats up, cools down really efficiently, okay? Then within temperate, you've got temperate winter, temperate no dry, temperate hot, temperate warm, temperate cold. Then you've got polar tundra, polar ice cap, okay? And by the way, those are a couple of the only climate classifications not in Hawaii. Those are the ones that are missing, because you can kind of look at the state of Hawaii as more of like which climates are not there, because all the other ones that I mentioned are there. I mean, you can ski, you can surf, you can be in the like a real desert-like climate on certain islands, and you can be in a real tropical rainforest on some others. So it's real interesting. Uvalde's here. Hey, Marcos. Sweden. Oh, you're from Sweden. Hi, Hannah. Thanks so much. We have 3 extra letters. The A with that, and the O with that. Oh, that's really, so how would you, am I pronouncing it correctly? Köppen? Is that the English pronunciation? I'm sure it's not the Swedish, but Köppen-Geiger system is what this is labeled for our world climate classifications. If it hadn't been for this COVID, I would have been in Hawaii by now. Melinda, are you military, or was it just going to be another move? Hawaii is so beautiful. You know, I've seen the Big Island. Oahu is a must, so you can visit Pearl Harbor. What an experience that is. They redid the visitor center about 5 to 6, no, maybe a little more, less than 10 years for sure, and it's now so beautiful. And what they do is they take you out, they show you a film first about what happened and how it happened and why it happened. It's about a 20-minute film, and then they take you out to the USS Arizona Memorial. And it's so cool. I mean, the ship is sunk beneath at the ocean floor there, or I guess the harbor floor, and then the memorial is across it. And you can still see oil coming up from that ship. I mean, it is extraordinary. And everyone is silent out of reverence for those we lost at Pearl Harbor. You see the mountains, and they show you where the planes first came in on the attack. It is something else, man. And just saying it, I get the chills, because you're standing there and you're reliving what happened there and what got us into World War II. Incredible experience. German. Oh, okay. Thanks, Hannah. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Dickinson. O'Neill Dickinson. All right. Awesome. Good to see you, Kathleen. Melinda, for the 44th wedding anniversary trip. Oh, awesome. Good trip. Maui's my favorite if we're going to rank them. And then the Big Island is really cool because of the black sand. And then Oahu, you know, Honolulu is such, well, it is America, but it feels so, you don't feel like you're in Hawaii. I mean, it almost feels like Florida. I mean, it's just jam-packed, and there's franchises everywhere. It's a bustling city. So to really experience Oahu, go to the North Shore and experience it there. But then if you can get over to Maui, oh, it's my favorite. And then Kauai is like raw Hawaii. I mean, it's just the oldest island. You see the mountains and the cliffs and all that kind of stuff. All right, back to our topic. Sorry, I digress. Koppen is in Swedish means the cup. Oh, interesting. That's good stuff. Speaking of tropical stuff, what trees can you hold in your hand? A palm tree. Ah, Matthew, that's good stuff. I love that. Did I tell you the difference between a rhino? Wait, I messed it up. What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo? Well, a hippo is really heavy. The other is just a little lighter. Good stuff. All right. So, in tropical climates, every month of the year, you have an average temperature of at least 65 degrees or higher. That's an average. Remember, high, low, average of the day, at least 65 plus. That's going to be a tropical climate, okay? So there's all just different characteristics of these climates. And what I want to do now is show you what this looks like on the planet Earth and how it's classified. Now, I apologize that the picture is a little stretched out. This is from Murray Peel at the University of Melbourne, Australia, that put this graphic together. So I give credit where it's due and show you this. Let me see where we are, right there. So this is essentially what it looks like. And as I mentioned, I gave you these letters so that you can find the colors on there, and then you can pick out. You see, this is all of the Americas, right? And you can see that we've got the color-coded areas classified with the first letter, which is going to be the main category, and then the subcategories in those other letters. So I mentioned that the A, is, of course, the tropical main category, but that first one, upper left, darkest blue, there's a lowercase f. That's for rainforest. Okay, so AF, darkest blue, rainforest climate. So if you look on the maps, and you can see that the northern section of South America, a good section of that, is tropical rainforest climate, as is Central America. You can see just south of the Yucatan Peninsula, and some spots right in there. In fact, I can kind of point this out to you as I'm talking about it a little bit. Can I? No, I can't do that. I was hoping. You can't see that mouse. Okay, sorry. But you get the idea, okay? So where I'm talking about is that right in the center of your screen, that little strip and the Yucatan Peninsula, as you're heading towards the United States, kind of sticks out there, and you see that darkest blue, and then it changes to the lighter blues, which is all staying tropical, but you're going into monsoon. You're also going into savanna dry winter, just some other subcategories of that tropical climate. And that's the M, monsoon. W is going to be for savanna dry, and so forth. Now, let's look into the United States, and I really want you to look at what we see in South Texas, okay? So you see a little bit of that sliver in the southwest. So South Texas is really on the cusp of two climates. Okay, so once we get into the greens, we're into that temperate, okay, that lighter green. If you find it on the scale over there, you're going to see continental. The C, I always want to say that. I don't know why they didn't do it that way, right? But that C actually stands for temperate, okay? So the temperate FA, okay? So temperate F, and that's going to be half of South Texas. If you look at that light green right there, and that's going to be temperate. F stands for dry winter, and then the A stands for hot summer. So that's where you see that split, okay? That green first is temperate, dry winter. No, I'm sorry, temperate, no dry season, and hot summer. And we know that. So no dry and hot. And that's going to be definitely Houston. You can see that huge belt of that light green. So that covers a huge region, but it stops in south central Texas. And then you see that brown shade take over, which is going to be a temperate. And then you can see it's CAB. Okay, so it's that kind of that brownish color. And that's going to start being that temperate. And that A is going to be hot summer, and the B is going to be warm summer, okay? So it kind of splits between it, all right?
Thank you.
So again, it's kind of, and then it's also, you can also see some of that brown, and then it really takes over, and we shift over to an arid climate real fast. That's where that main area of almost that khaki color takes over the whole western United States. I mean, that's a big section, and that's going to be the arid steppe, and it's also going to, that K stands for cold. Okay, so that's a temperate cold as you move into the western United States. Okay, but I always thought it's very interesting how, South Texas is split. And again, we're split with that hot summer tropical, okay, because that's definitely the A category. but you don't find that until you move a little farther south into the equator. So that's all the equatorial region. But once we get into South Texas, and that green that takes over, I mean, it's like the entire southeastern United States, okay, that gets that temperate and that no dry season. I mean, there's just no dry season at all for that southern, United, pretty much almost from Texas east, and it's all in that same green. And it's all that one category. I mean, look at how much climate, and then you jump into that lighter green that takes you up into the northern plains, okay? And so it's a really neat split between what you see on these climates and really how they operate within these categories. Again, I can't get into too much of the minutiae here, but it's always interesting if you look at South Texas as that split where we get those changes, and we can get those influences in different climates throughout the year. So, like for instance, when we hit the hottest temperature we ever hit, 111, we had a real dry, arid, desert-like climate taking over, and there's some science that says that desert climate over the centuries will continue moving east in Texas, okay? And that San Antonio and this region of the state would eventually be overtaken by that desert climate, that more arid climate. There is some, projections of that happening over the course of hundreds and hundreds of years in our future, if we get that future, right? But right now, it's kind of split where, we have like El Paso is in that dry, arid climate. San Antonio gets an influence from that sometimes, but more from the Gulf of Mexico and that temperate, non-dry season. That's mainly what we get because we have more influence from the Gulf of Mexico than we do from Mexico, okay? Our prevailing wind is southeast, humid, no dry season. I mean, Houston, for instance, they average, and they're locked in that no dry season, hot summer climate. Well, that is, they get annual rainfall pushing 60 inches a year sometimes, right? Even up to 70. Well, we average about 30 because we can cut it in half from Houston just because of that climate change from east to west, because we start moving into that more arid desert, dry season climate. So it's real interesting. Again, the Köppen-Geiger system on our Cloudy with a Chance of Learning. Hope you learned a little something today. It's good stuff. We got some lightning at Lackland last night. Well, Bobby, I think you probably saw it at Lackland. I don't know if you actually got it at Lackland because it was a huge lightning storm off to the south. We didn't get any rain in West San Antonio, but that's what I call dedication, right? Is there a place in the U.S. where a place was supposed to be affected by the flood of Noah? That's a really good question. I'm really not sure. So, one thing I always like to do before I leave on any Facebook Live is give you a look at our 7-day forecast, and this is from San Fernando Cathedral. It is looking pretty hot. At least it's a little breezy today. I don't think now the text that you see here is going to be updated later. So that's sunny breezies for today. So the text, the numbers and the icons are correct because that changes with the day, but the text does not. So that's one of the small adjustments I make before our newscasts. So move everything left one day. So the AM nice and sunny, that's going to be Thursday. So we're going to have another nice morning. You see those mid-60s through Saturday. And the good news is the humidity doesn't jump right back up. We're expecting these dew points to just gradually climb through the rest of the week. And that's always good. That's what, again, makes the air feel better. And watch, as we expect, you don't really start feeling humidity until those dew points get into the 60s. Well, right now, you can see that we stay comfortable on dew point numbers through the weekend. This is a nice dry air mass. It's going to stick around for several days. So the mornings are going to be refreshing. We're going to get hot in the afternoons, don't get me wrong. But at least the mornings will be refreshing, somewhat comfortable, great for a walk, great for a bike ride, great for a little bit of exercise. Hope you enjoyed Cloudy with a Chance of Learning. Thanks so much for joining us on our Wednesday edition. Tomorrow, we're talking weather and its effects on the roadways. Meteorologist Stacia Wilson is going to be in-house. She's got experience on both sides of that equation. So make sure to join us on Eyewitness News First at 4. Love you all. God bless. Have a great Wednesday.